Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. Steve Willits, we're getting down to the end of the season.
We are indeed. We're starting to lose teams already. But on the flip side of that, we've got some teams that are already clinching berths to state tournaments.
Yeah, we actually have some very exciting news to share about that. But before we do, let's thank our sponsor, Red Onion Cafe and Seafood Bar. I did it without looking at the
Nicely
sign this
done.
time. I'm getting used to it, and I'm told that the grand opening should be soon. So we'll keep you posted on that, but let's get on to soccer.
Soccer, the district championship taking place on Friday, originally was scheduled for Saturday, but one of the teams had prom.
Yeah.
It also
I saw that.
tells
It's
you that
like,
we're getting late
wow.
into the season there, right? Which, by the way, classy move for certainly Coach Nelson over at Meadowdale, as well as everybody that was probably involved. I've got to think Beth Marriott over at Meadowdale was involved in that as well. Anytime you can make those accommodations, I commend everybody involved. So yeah, Meadowdale and Marysville Pilchuck are scheduled to play the district championship on Saturday. Got moved to Friday because MP had their prom, and I guess karma goes a long way because Meadowdale, who, to be very honest, I didn't think they were going to win that game, and nothing against Meadowdale. Marysville Pilchuck has been outstanding this year. I had a chance to watch them last week. Meadowdale coming through with a surprise victory. District champs. Talk about a team that's come a long way. A couple of years ago, I think we were looking at a team that won 3 games total over the course of a whole season. And we should back that up even a little further. In a match that we talked about on our show last week, in order to get to the championship game, Meadowdale had to go through Edmonds-Woodway earlier in the week over at Shoreline Stadium, a game that ended in a tie. They played overtime, it was still tied, and they finally had to go to a shootout. So Meadowdale winning a shootout in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals, winning another shootout in the semifinals, and then beating what looked like maybe one of the top teams in the state to get a district championship. So congratulations to Meadowdale. They're moving on. And oh, by the way, and we came close to doing this last week, but now we're going to make sure we're taking care of it. Kyle Hauk, goalkeeper for Meadowdale. When you're the goalkeeper and you win shootouts on back-to-back matches to get your team there, in the quarterfinal one, he was phenomenal against Snohomish and made another key stop against Edmonds-Woodway. Kyle, we've got a shirt with your name on it, so congratulations. You are the Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. Meadowdale now goes on to play in the round of 16, and it's single elimination in soccer. They're going to play over at Edmonds Stadium, 7 p.m. Wednesday night against Interlake. If they win that game, they get another game, I think another home game maybe even next weekend, so stay tuned for that. And also, oh, by the way, Mountlake Terrace High School qualifying for the state tournament in the 2A side of things with a big 2-0 win over Sammamish. They're going to be playing Ellensburg this week, so my alma mater versus your alma mater.
We did this
I
last
think
year
we
for baseball.
did it for baseball in the state championship game. So the Hawks taking on Ellensburg, whatever their nickname is.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, there we
I
go.
could sing the fight song, but I won't.
Yeah, we'll cut that out even if we did for either one of us. But so the Bulldogs and the Hawks taking each other on somewhere over on the east side. I think that's more of an Ellensburg home game, if you will. And again, that's also single elimination. So a lot of great soccer going on this week.
Very cool. And before we move on, let's just mention really quickly, speaking of soccer, on May 31st, and we've publicized this in the past,
Right.
because I think this is maybe the 3rd annual?
At least, yeah.
I can't remember.
3rd or 4th, yeah.
Yeah, but the boys versus girls game, Edmonds-Woodway Soccer at Edmonds District Stadium on May 31st at 6 p.m. And this is all a fundraiser that goes towards Special Olympics. So 6 p.m. game, $3 for kids, $5 for everybody else. Go out and support this effort. It's really for a great cause.
Yeah, and we've heard some great things about the game in the past, too. It keeps falling on a weekend where I have something already planned, so I'm hoping to get there maybe even this year. But, yeah, everything's been very positive about the entire experience, not only from the standpoint of watching these young athletes play with one another, but also just the camaraderie out there on the field. And so, yeah, certainly get out there and support that.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, now we need to talk baseball.
Baseball, we've got more teams that qualified for state, or at least one anyway. Edmonds-Woodway, a team that's made it to the state semifinals each of the last 2 years, didn't take the easiest route this year.
No.
They did have to go through the consolation bracket, but nonetheless, they get a big win over Snohomish the other day, 8-5. And talk about a game. Ian Michael, who we've had in studio before, pitched 6 shutout innings to take an 8-0 lead into the final inning. He then was pulled out, and then they gave up 5 runs in the 7th. So Snohomish making it very interesting, but not quite enough. Edmonds-Woodway takes 4th place in a tournament that the top 4 teams go on to state. So the Warriors punching their ticket. So they are heading back to the state tournament. They're going to be playing at Saturday at 10 a.m. against Mountain View, a team from the Vancouver area. And it's going to be over at Bannerwood Field over in Bellevue. So not too far of a trip for anybody to make that wants to go out there. Single elimination tournament, so they're going to play at 10 a.m. If they win that game, they'll play again at 4 p.m. on the same field against the winner of the Capital versus Mercer Island game, which takes place at 1 p.m. So if you want your fill of baseball, and if you're keeping your fingers crossed that the Warriors can get through that first round of a game, you could watch a triple header over there on Saturday. If the weather's ideal, Bannerwood's a fun place to watch baseball.
It's a beautiful field, actually.
It is indeed. So hopefully the Warriors can make it through and perhaps make it to the state semifinals for the third consecutive year, which is not an easy task.
That would be great. And a lot of those Little League World Series kids are in their senior year.
Absolutely.
And they're kind of, a lot of them are on the Edmonds-Woodway team, and so that'll be a fun time for them too.
Indeed.
All right, so softball.
Softball, the regular season is over. For the 3A folks, so Meadowdale, Linwood, and Edmonds-Woodway, their regular season came to an end. Linwood not qualifying for the district tournament. However, Edmonds-Woodway and Meadowdale both did, and this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's over at Phil Johnson Fields in Mukilteo. 4 softball fields all lined up right with one another there on the same property, so you can essentially stand in the right spot and watch multiple games at one time. And this Tuesday night at 5 p.m., double elimination tournament. Edmonds-Woodway is going to be playing Snohomish, while Shorewood will be taking on Meadowdale. And, oh, by the way, Meadowdale, congratulations. Undefeated in league play this year.
Incredible.
They're number 1 seed in a very tough Wesco 3A softball league. So Meadowdale and Edmonds-Woodway both going to be playing over at Phil Johnson Fields. Doubleheader that night as well over at Mukilteo, win or lose. So get on out there and support them. And then Mountlake Terrace. Again, a team that's in a different classification because of school size. Their district tournament started Saturday. They had to play a loser out winner to the quarterfinals match against Sammamish. The Hawks coming away with a 12-2 victory on their home field. And now they're going to be heading up to Cedar-Woolley for a quarterfinal tournament, a double elimination tournament, very similar to what the other teams are playing. Only they're going to be at Janicki Field, and that's going to take place Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So we certainly encourage folks to get out there and watch the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Speaking of which, we haven't visited with their players yet this year, so we brought 2 of their seniors in for an interview to talk about the Hawks season thus far and about the upcoming district tournament. Here's our conversation with Kennedy and Zoey. It's May, which means we're starting to wrap up some of our high school sports seasons. It's also the time of the year that we usually see the Mountlake Terrace Hawks softball team make it into the postseason, and this year's no different. Joining us right now, 2 of the seniors on the Hawks squad. We have Zoey Wilson on the end, who is a first baseman, and Kennedy Cooper, who is currently the center fielder. You've played a little left field in your time as well. Ladies, first of all, congratulations. Shouldn't bury the lead here either. Saturday of this weekend, 12-2 victory over Sammamish in the first round of the district playoffs. So you're heading to the double elimination quarterfinals. Kennedy, this is nothing new for you, but it's always kind of exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The last time we made it, we unfortunately didn't make it to state. 2 years ago, we did make it to state, and we're hoping to do that again. And
what an exciting game this was on Saturday, too. Zoey, it was a little nerve-wracking early on. Sammamish with 2 runs in the first inning. I think you were even down 2-1 after 2. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden in the 4th inning, everything just kind of changed. 10 runs in the 4th inning. Were you nervous at all during the first 3 innings?
Just a little, be like, wait, if we don't get this. But then luckily we get all those runs and we're like, okay, we got this in the bag.
And I know, Kennedy, we talked about it a little bit before the cameras were rolling. Even though you weren't getting the runs in the first few innings, it felt like the bats were just about ready to explode. The hits were there. They just were kind of at the wrong spots, right? Right towards players rather than in the holes.
Yeah, definitely. And that happens in softball all the time, where the really good hits get caught, and then sometimes little bloopers help us get those runs. So that's what we ended up doing a lot.
Mm-hmm. And they are now moving on into the quarterfinals, and now we go to neutral site. So now we're no longer playing at home. When Saturday they were at Mountlake Terrace High School, you go up to Janicki Field up in Cedar-Woolley, and this is where the 2A Division I or District I playoffs have been taking place for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So Kennedy, a place that you're a little familiar with, is that comforting to know that you've already played on these fields before and you kind of know what to expect a little?
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously not somewhere that we play very often, but at least knowing that we've played there and won some games there is comforting.
And you're going to play a team that you're somewhat familiar with. Back on March 12th, you played Linden. Unfortunately, on that particular day, final score was 16-8. Yeah. Zoey, 2 months later, so it's a team that maybe you don't remember that well, but you did play them. Is that a good thing or maybe kind of indifferent?
I think it's a good thing because now we had so much time to grow and stuff, and so then also London's gonna come in and be like, oh, we beat them 16-8, we're gonna cream them, but that gives us an opportunity to show them like what we got.
So perhaps they're going to be a little overconfident.
Yeah.
Linden was the second game of your season, and have to bring it up. We can do this with a smile on our face now. You lost the first 5 games of the year this year, non-conference games, but and against tough opponents, I might add. But Kennedy, I've got to think at some point, maybe during that streak, was there starting to be some sort of doubt that was creeping into your minds or your psyche that maybe this just isn't our year this year, or what was the mindset of the team during that time?
Yeah, it was hard for us at first because we knew we were playing tough teams, but it's hard after that many losses to keep our heads up, but I feel like we did.
And they came out of it well, too. I think 9-5 in a very tough Westco conference, too. Westco 3A, Zoey, it's one of the better conferences in the state for 3A, and you guys actually play up for that. You're a 2A school, so once you get to districts, in theory, smaller schools, I wouldn't say easier. I know, Kennedy, I kind of saw that look on your face there. Not necessarily easier schools, but smaller schools. Does playing at that level, and I'll let maybe Zoey answer it first, does it maybe get you more prepared to play at a 2A tournament?
I think so, yeah, since then you kind of know what you're going to get yourself into, but you can get a really good team and just wipe you out.
And see what happens. So Wednesday, again, 4 o'clock, up in Cedar Woolley. And Kennedy, you were telling me, I guess, when you're getting on that bus ride to go up to Cedar Woolley, and it is a doubleheader. If you win, you immediately move into the semifinals and play later on that night. If you lose, you move into the consolation bracket and play. So either way, you've got 2 games.
Yes.
Understand that Coach lets you get a little food on the way up there. Is that true?
Yeah, every time we head down there for districts, Shannon will get our Jimmy John's orders, and she'll have that ready for us on the bus ride down there.
So it's not as though the bus is pulling into the parking lot at the Jimmy John's. It's all ready to
No,
go.
yeah, she's got it ready for us.
Okay, so what's the do we have any kind of superstitious meal, or is it just our favorites? What are we eating on the way up to Cedar Woolley?
Just favorites, and I know everyone's wanting a pickle. That's a classic Jimmy John's thing.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a terrace thing. That's just everybody seems to enjoy their pickles on the team. Zoey, what about you? Are you do you have a particular Jimmy John's special that you go with on the way up there?
I go with a number 4 turkey tom.
Okay, so they know what they're doing here. They've been down this road before. And talk a little bit about this tournament overall. Again, it's a 2A tournament, but there's some really good teams up there. And Kennedy, you know this all too well. I mean, some of the teams you might see Lakewood in the second round, which is a very strong opponent this year. Anacortes, Seaholm, some of these other teams in the past. Do we kind of have any expectations going into it, or is it just a matter of playing terrace softball?
I think it's just going to be us playing us. We don't know a lot about these teams. We never really see any of them in preseason, so I think it's just going to be us trying our hardest to make it into the top 3.
So speaking of us, let's find out who they are right now. I'm going to have each of you tell me about the other person a little bit, both as a player and as a person, and what kind of a teammate they are. Zoey, I'll start with you. Tell me about the 4-year starter here, Kennedy. What kind of a player is she? Leadoff hitter on the team this year.
Yeah.
Big home run against Meadowdale. I know of Kate Houghton, which is huge. Who is she? What kind of a player?
Well, I've known Kennedy for a long time. We went to elementary school together, and then we didn't go to the same middle school, but then high school we went together for all 4 years. She's just been like a really great teammate. Always like if we're down like points, she'd be like, okay guys, this one we got this. She's always like building herself, and she's amazing at center field. Like, yeah.
Got the glove out there?
Yeah.
Good. Kennedy, what about Zoey? What kind of a player in person is she?
Zoey is like the most amazing person I've ever met. She's so positive, and like every time I see her, she asks, "How was your day?" or "What'd you do today?" And just very genuine person and a great player.
And Zoey, first year playing varsity for you. You were JV last year. What's the transition been like? Is it that much of a different game at this level?
I think it is, since it's a lot of the other teams are very like hard and hardcore and just ready to play. I mean, this year we started off rough with that 5 loss, but I think now we're a team to watch out for.
And a team that doesn't have a lot of seniors. As a matter of fact, it was senior night on Tuesday, your last regular season home game of the year, and we only honored 3 varsity players that night. And Kennedy, tell us about the third player who's not here. The 2 of you were the other 2 of the 3. Tell us a little bit about Sarah Davis.
Yeah, Sarah Davis. She's my best friend. We're going to college together. She's a great player. It's too bad that she couldn't be here. She has to work tonight. But she's been a 4-year starter as well on varsity, and yeah, great addition to the team.
Talk a little bit about her home run on Saturday.
Oh, that was awesome. It was almost foul, but it was definitely, it kind of got us going when we were in that little bit of a rut in the beginning of the game.
So a huge hit from Sarah there, and those are the 3 seniors. We also have 2 other seniors that were swinging a little bit from JV to varsity. And Zoey, I have a feeling you know about one of these players fairly well, right? Tell me about Sydney Wilson, and how do you know Sydney?
We're twins.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, Sydney started playing softball for us last year on JV. She was kind of like, maybe I don't want to play softball, just do track again this year. And then me and my mom talked her into it. And then she decided she really liked it, and she tried out again this year. And this year she's a swinger for varsity, and she's going to continue playing our games for district, which is pretty cool, and I'm excited to play with her. Yeah, it's weird since we usually play a lot of the same sports together, so it was hard not being on the same team this year, but
And does the JV team usually play at the same time as the varsity team?
Yeah.
So that mom and dad and families
trying
go
to
back
get-
and forth a little?
Yeah,
or-
trying to get from one game to the next. But yeah, they try so hard. But
So during the district playoffs, they'll get to be in the same dugout
Yeah,
and experience that
exactly.
together. And we should mention Lexi Flesher also, right? Also a senior who's been swinging up. Lexi also part of the group here, right? The 5 of you. So what's that been like for you to have her around there as well?
Yeah, she's swung up for a few games. I've known her all 4 years, and she's going to be a great addition to the team. She's an outfielder, and
And ready to go if needed?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So let's talk about some of the other players on this team. Obviously, there's quite a few people who have contributed this year. Zoe, maybe I'll start with you here. You play first base, so tell me a little bit about the infield.
infield, Jamie, our catcher, she's
Jamie Bingaman, yeah.
Yeah, without Jamie, I think it would be we would lose a lot more games, and she's usually the main voice. And if a girl gets a play on us, and she's like, okay, guys, come on, we got this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You got this. So without her, I think it would be not the same without her. And then Lainey, pitcher and third base and outfield. She's just brings so much great energy in every game. She's always happy. Sarah, she's just amazing everywhere. We call her the Flash. She's so fast, but she's amazing.
Carice Jones over at second, right?
Carice, me and Carice talk all the time, and we're like, "Hey, we got this one, right, Zoe?" And I'm like, "Yep, I got you, Carice." So we just have a really good first and second base kind of chemistry there.
And then Jenna Maxfield
Yeah.
over at short. Nothing really gets by her, does it?
No, exactly. So it's once she got it, I'm ready. Me and her can go back and forth and be like, "Okay, ready? We got this in the bag." So
And Paige Irwin playing over at third a lot this year too, so
Exactly.
very strong squad. Now, how about in the outfield with you? Who's out there?
Yeah, in the outfield, we don't. We have a lot of people that can play a lot of places, but some of our outfielders, Kaya Bevins, she's a sophomore. This is her first year on varsity, and she's done a great job. She's fast and super positive. We also have Alexa, and this is also her first year on varsity. She's also a sophomore. There are only 2 sophomores. She's played some third base too. She's got a great arm. And then we also have Lainey and Kira, who both play out in the outfield sometimes, and both of them are juniors and great players overall. They can play anywhere.
Well, we'll use that as a segue too, because Lainey and Kira, that's Lainey Flynn and Kira Scott, also pitching on the bump quite a bit too. Talk about them as pitchers.
okay, so Key, she's a really good pitcher. She's super constant, and she's ready to play the game no matter what scenario. Yesterday, how she pitched, and it was just amazing to see her pitch, just boom, 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 done. Yeah.
And what about Lainey? What kind of a pitcher is Lainey?
Lainey, I love her so much. She always tries. She takes a long time to get ready, but it's because she wants to be ready for our team, and she wants to be prepared. And she always does it right off the bat, first inning. She's always doing a great job.
So that's your squad. That's again 9-5 record in Wesco this year, and ready to take on Linden on Wednesday at the districts. You're both seniors this year, and I should mention also before I ask you what you're going to do to finish out your year and college. little ritual that might be coming up if we make it to state. Talk about the red hair a little bit, Kennedy. What's going on?
If we make it to state, we're going to be dyeing the back of our hair red. So it's something that we can hide for graduation and things like that, but it'll be cool to see when our hair is up.
So we need to root for you to get to state just so we can see that. Zoey, who came up with this idea? Do we know?
Jamie?
Yeah.
Jamie
I think it's
Bingaman? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie's already got the lighter hair, so I guess she's ready to go with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we'll see if they can get to state. They've got to get through districts this week first. And I should mention, too, as you both start to finish out your senior year, Kennedy, we're going to see you on May 22nd. You are one of the honorees for the Scholar Athlete Award, the recognition banquet that takes place throughout the Edmonds School District. Only 17 seniors from all 4 schools being recognized. What a tremendous honor that has to be for you.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many great athletes at our school, so it definitely feels like an honor to be chosen as one of them.
And this is not only something that they're recognizing athletically, but it's also academically. Does that make it a little more special? How important is it for you as you're going throughout your year, participating in sports, to also achieve things in the classroom as well?
Yeah, it feels amazing because, it's hard balancing trying to do well in school and athletically, so it feels great to be honored in this way.
Well, congratulations for that. So what does the rest of the year look like? We're into May now. Zoey, is this where everybody starts to kind of look at the calendar every day and
Exactly. Just count on those days to graduation.
nervous, excited, all of the above? And
All the above, definitely.
so just softball just kind of adds to the whole entire dynamic of it, doesn't it? So talk a little bit about what's the next adventure for both of you in your future. Zoey, where are you going to be heading off to?
I'm going to Western Washington University, and I'm going to be majoring in environmental business.
Very nice. And now what about you, Kennedy?
I'm going to be going to Grand Canyon University in Arizona, and I'm going to be studying biology with an emphasis in pre-medicine.
Excellent. And you mentioned already Sarah's going down there with you as well,
Yep.
so not going to be a complete stranger to the area. You'll have somebody to
Yeah.
spend some time with down there. And since we're recording this on Sunday night, it is Mother's Day. I did want to ask the question, what did everybody do to celebrate Mom today? Zoey, I guess for you, we've already talked about your twin on the team with you, Sydney. So what did we do for Mom today?
Well, we woke up early and made breakfast for her, and then we went prom shoe shopping today. So,
And did we mission accomplished?
yes,
or
mission accomplished.
you and Sydney
Oh,
both?
score.
Yes.
Okay, nicely done. And moms always appreciate that too. They enjoy
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
And Kennedy, what about you? How did we celebrate Mom?
I went out and bought my mom some flowers and spent the day just cleaning around the house, and we made some dinner for her.
Yeah, moms are very vital in this whole role of student athlete, right? So kind of important to celebrate them. And we hope that moms even have something more to celebrate, again, when districts are over. And we're hoping, Kennedy, you're also the sports editor for the Hawkeye, the school newspaper. Does this mean that if you get to state, do you get to write your own articles about the team, or do you leave that to other people?
Yeah, I don't think there's some sort of conflict of interest there, but hopefully we'll be passing that role on to someone else soon.
We're hoping that they'll keep the writers very busy over there. So again, Sydney, Zoey, congratulations on a great season thus far to you and your teammates, and best of luck up in Cedar Woolley. We're hoping to be talking about the Hawks into the state tournament the following week.
Yeah.
With any luck at all, we'll be seeing the Hawks with red hair in the next week or so.
Which makes sense. Red's the school color.
Yeah.
I've wore plenty of that in my time.
Yeah.
Never in my hair, though. But,
You never dyed your hair
never
red
dyed my
when you
hair
were in
red
high
for
school?
anything
Then
when I
maybe
was...
that wasn't a thing then.
Not so much, no.
Yeah.
Not sure I would have done it either way, but
Right.
you never know. I had more hair back then, too. Just saying.
Whole nother story.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. Well, so now we've got golf to talk about.
We do. Like the other sports, golf's into the postseason. We've got a district tournament coming up this week. Boys and girls, 2 different locations throughout the week, trying to qualify for state, which will be the following week. But first, we should probably talk about what happened over the course of a couple of days late last week. It was the Wesco 3A South Division Championships, and both Edmonds-Woodway boys and girls coming out victorious as teams. The boys winning their team title in that. The girls winning. However, we do have to give a shout out to another team. It's a point system that they use throughout the year to determine league champions. So the Edmonds-Woodway girls won the tournament title the other day. However, Meadowdale accumulated enough points to win the out-and-out title. So congratulations to both the Warriors and the Mavericks girls. But we're going to spend a little more time talking Edmonds-Woodway golf this week. And we figured we'd bring in one of the boys and one of the girls from each of the teams to talk about their sports and their teammates and each other. And they know each other a little bit because they're brother and sister. The Puetzes, Silas and Rachel, in studio talking Edmonds-Woodway golf. The Wesco 3A South Golf Championships were this past week, and the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors coming out victorious on both the boys and the girls side. So we brought one teammate from each onto the studio with us. Not only are they teammates out on the golf course, they're also brother and sister. It's the Puetzes. Rachel, who is a junior this year, Silas, senior. First of all, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Kind of a big deal, and I think we need to take care of a little bit of business before we go any further, because last week they both shot low scores in each of their tournaments for the Edmonds School District tournaments, and in doing so, we named each of them the Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. So Rachel, for your efforts, we have a shirt for you. I know you and your teammate Brianna Schulk shot low score in that tournament, and Silas, you had the low score on the boys' side of things.
Yes, sir.
So we've got you a shirt as well. So both of you contributing to your teams, pulling off victories, shooting low scores. It's good to be a Puetz right now.
It's great.
Silas, talk about this year a little bit, just in terms of the success you've had and your team has had. Are you guys having as much fun as it seems when we read the box scores and see what's going on?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. The whole varsity is all seniors, and we all know each other. It's just a lot of fun. I've won 4 or 5 league matches and won the Edmonds School District for the second time in a row. And played pretty well at Wesco. So it was good.
Playing well at Wesco, and they've got a big tournament coming up this week also to try to get to state, which is the following week. And so we'll talk about that here in a moment too. Rachel, for you, again, sharing that award with Brianna for the low score. Our teammates, do they talk a lot about winning team awards? Because really, golf, we think of it as an individual sport, and yet when we see it listed on My Edmonds News, it always breaks it down as to which team shot what. Mm-hmm. Do you take a lot of pride in those team championships as well?
Yeah, for sure. The team championships definitely unite us, and they hype us up and they get us excited for just winning and for our next tournaments. And we're all pretty close on the team, so it's really fun to win.
And Silas, you were telling me that it often gets competitive amongst teammates.
Yes.
So it's not always about
yes.
beating the other guys. You want to beat your own teammates almost more so, right?
Yeah, me and my teammate Cooper and Josh, we're all pretty much in the mix for the top 3. So I'm always coming in just hoping I could beat them.
Is there a lot of do you find that the three of you push each other as well too? I mean,
yeah, for sure. We all have this like motivation, this drive. Just we're like, just want to beat each other.
Yeah.
That's how it is this year.
So Wesco 3A South, we just talked about how the team won that. I know you didn't get the low score there overall in that tournament.
Yeah.
Rachel, you took second in that one, correct? Mm-hmm. Tell me about who took first, and a friend of yours, I understand.
Yeah, Haley Wong. She's really great. Shout out to Haley Wong. I took second. I could have definitely done better, and I know Haley, she's got pretty high standards. She could have done better as well, but it's fun to compete against each other.
And Haley's over at Shorewood.
Yeah.
So you're no doubt going to see her again this week. This is the Wesco District 1 championship coming up. This is where you have to qualify for state. Boys and girls on different days at different golf courses. Where are you going to be at this week? Where's the girls tournament and what days?
We're going to be at Walter Hall on Tuesday and Wednesday.
So that's up in Everett. So again, 13, 14 different schools in Wesco all competing. And you've been to state before twice in the past. Mm-hmm. So what would it mean for you to get there again as a junior?
It would just be fun. It's always a great experience. I love hanging out with my teammates. Even last year, Brianna didn't make it to state, but she came up and we just had a really great time.
So we're hoping that Brianna can get there this year as well as yourself,
sure.
and maybe a few others. Jordan, we mentioned her earlier on the show this year too, so we'll see. And Silas, for you haven't been able to quite get there yet. You were an alternate 2 years ago.
Yep.
So what would it mean for you this year, your senior year, to finally
it would be cool. It would be that milestone that I've always wanted to reach,
So we're shooting this on Sunday night. You guys are playing tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, we play tomorrow, 11 a.m. Start at Skagit, Avalon.
And it's Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
So a little chance to get out of school for the day too, which is always kind of nice, right?
And hopefully the rain is raining on Tuesday. Make the greens nice and soft.
So I was going to ask you about that. We're not sure about the weather this week. It's kind of hit or miss. Do you kind of enjoy playing in the rain a little bit? Is that?
Oh yeah, because I like to. Whenever I hit the ball just stops on the green when it's all wet. So it's like it's better for me.
Now, how about you, Rachel? Do you care about the weather as much? Or?
No, not as much. I do prefer it a little bit to be a little bit hotter, so the ball rolls farther since I don't hit it as far. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about who some of your other teammates are. I know Silas, you mentioned a couple of guys already. Anybody else we should be watching for if we're watching Edmonds-Woodway?
Marco Cooper, he can hit the ball really good, and if he's having a good day, he could he could potentially make state this year.
And then Rachel, we've already mentioned Brianna Schalk. We mentioned Jordan Easter. Who else is playing with you this year?
We just have 2 new freshmen this year, but they unfortunately ended their season. They didn't make it to districts, but that would be Miranda and Courtney.
Okay, well, and best of luck for them in the future. They've
Yeah.
got 3 more years left. I always like to ask these questions for golfers because I think it's just such a unique sport in some ways. Favorite moment this season so far? Silas, do you have one?
Yes, my favorite moment this year is we were at Gamble Sands, and me and my friend from Shorewood got up at 6 a.m. to chip and putt for 3 hours before a round.
And the round started right at 9 o'clock, so you're just kind of practicing, so to speak?
Yeah.
What made that so much fun? I mean, obviously you're not competing at that point. You're
Oh
just,
yeah, we're just getting loose, just having a lot of fun, waking people up, and just competing in the morning. It was a great time.
Well, and it sounds to me from even when we were talking before the interview, staying loose on the golf course is kind of a big thing for you, isn't it?
Big thing for me. If I take it too serious, I don't play as well. So I just kind of got to get loose, get goofy, dance a little bit, and I might play well.
Rachel, are you the same way, or are you a little more serious when you're out there on the golf course?
I definitely like to have fun with my teammates. It's always great, but I am a little bit more focused on the golf course. I really want to do well, so yeah.
And favorite moment for you this year?
Favorite moment is just like having fun with my teammates. And last weekend, actually, I had a practice round with Brianna and one of his teammates, Carson, and our coach. And it's just fun goofing around on the carts and playing.
And having a good time. Talk a little bit about how you got started in golf. You both come from golf families. It sounds like your grandpa coached community college, dad's a PGA pro, and yet neither one of you started that early, which kind of surprised me. Is it a sport that was dad always kind of pushing you both a little bit into, knowing that it's his game, or did he kind of let you find it yourself?
Nah, he just let us find it ourselves. I mean, I started with basketball, and then once that started to go downhill, I watched the Masters and then started getting into it. And I was like, I kind of actually like this. And so I just kept playing from there.
So now was it a matter of just going to dad and saying, hey, give me some pointers before I go out there and compete for the first time? Or
Yeah, I wasn't really asking for pointers, more of just going to the course and trying to hit some balls and then him giving me some pointers. So, like, not specifically asking him for pointers, but, just wanting to play a little bit.
And you started playing competitively in middle school then, correct?
Yeah, about 8th grade.
Okay. Now, Rachel, what about you? When did you start?
I started in about 7th grade, and I never really liked golf until then, and my dad asked both of us if we wanted to compete in a Washington Junior Golf Tournament, and I think that's when I first began actually liking it. Yeah, and of course our dad supports us in everything we do, but once we started golfing, he wanted to coach me and help me out in that too, so yeah.
And we were asking you both about that before the show too. So dad kind of gives you some instruction from time to time.
Yeah.
Is it better to have dad out there as a dad or as a coach, or does it go both ways?
For me, as a dad, because he can just be goofing around with me and telling me I suck sometimes, but also supporting me at the same time. It's just more fun that way.
And Rachel, for you, it sounds like he's more of a coach than in some regards. Yeah.
Definitely more of a coach. He's pretty hard on me, but I don't mind that because it makes me better. But I think when I play, I prefer to have him as a dad, and he is a dad when I play because he's just watching me and supporting me.
And what's mom's role in all of this?
Oh, she likes to come out once in a while, but she is working the way, so she can't come out to every event.
Okay, so there we go.
She's definitely a big supporter as well, though.
Yeah.
And it sounds like dad's going to be watching this later. Can either one of you beat dad yet?
I'm close.
Not quite there yet.
Watch out, Dad.
Well, tell me about each other's games a little bit. So, Rachel, why don't we start with you? Tell me about Silas. What kind of a player is he on the golf course?
Silas, he hits it very far and pretty straight most of the time. I think also one of his strengths is that he just likes to have fun. And like he said before, when he focuses and puts too much pressure on himself, he doesn't play as well. So I think just having fun is really important.
Which, it's a mental game, so you almost have to do that a little bit with golf sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, Silas, what about little sister here? What does she do well?
Well, little sister, she likes to hit the ball straight, very straight. She's very focused, which is a good attribute. She's very competitive, and so she gets angry a lot, but that also drives her to do well. So, yeah.
Tell me about your coaches a little bit here, too.
Pritch is a good guy.
It's Andrew Pritchard, yeah?
He's a funny guy. I like Pritch. Yeah, he's overall just a great coach, great guy. Very organized, knows what he's doing.
And then
Yeah.
we got Matt Caldwell coaching the girls this year, right? So-
Yeah, Caldwell's really fun. He's a really fun coach. I love playing with him as well because he'll get mad 1 second and then the next second he'll be laughing, and he's just really fun.
keeps it interesting and fun for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you have favorite courses that you play throughout the year?
I like Gamble Sands.
That's over by Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it about Gamble Sands that you like? What makes a good course for you?
It's good because it's difficult. It's really windy there, and it's a long course. So I just like the difficulty of the course, and the views of the mountains were just amazing there. Mm-hmm. So I just love the scenery, love the toughness of the course, and how it played.
Yeah, interesting. You like to remain loose and have fun out there. Yet you like the challenge also, though.
Yeah,
So okay.
I'm just a little weird that way, but I like it.
Very good. And then Rachel, what about you? Do you have a favorite course or maybe a couple courses around here that you like to play?
Yeah, so for our matches, we only really play, Nile and Linwood. And I like those courses, but they're pretty short. So when I'm not competing on the team, I like to go to Harbor Point or Everett Golf and Country Club.
Very good. And so now, again, a senior and a junior. So we'll start with Silas. This is your final year at Edmonds-Woodway. What are the plans for the future? It sounds like you already have a little bit of an outline as to what you want to do next.
Yeah, I mean, I might work at the golf course a little bit. I'm going to move to Arizona, and then I have a little business plan. It's going to be called Silas's Sweets and Treats. It's a fun little name, but I'm going to be selling shaved ice and crepes at festivals to start out with and expand from there.
If you're going to do festivals and sell items like, especially shaved ice, I guess get out of the Pacific Northwest and down into the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you got that all figured out, it sounds like.
All figured out.
Can't wait to see how that goes for you. And then, Rachel, you've got one more year left, but it sounds like you've already kind of got a little bit of an eye on one or two schools in particular that you might be looking at.
Yeah, so right now I'm in the IB program and hoping to finish that out next year. And then over spring break, I toured Grand Canyon University, and I really loved that. So hoping to go there in the future.
So we could have both siblings down in Arizona and maybe working for Silas's Sweets and Treats maybe during college.
I don't know, maybe.
See how that plays out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I've got to ask, it's Mother's Day today, so did we do anything with Mom, or how did we celebrate Mom?
Ironically, we went to the golf course and had a good time with Mother.
So Mom does like to get up there a little bit.
She
and play.
does, she does.
Okay.
She doesn't play very often, but she used to be really good, so she can hit it pretty good.
So golf and Mom for Mother's Day, we like that. So again, great season thus far. You both had a lot of success, as we mentioned. The teams winning the Wesco 3A South title over the week, Edmonds School District title the week before that, both of them winning individually. I know the boys winning that one, and then the girls taking second to Meadowdale. So again, a really strong season for both of you, and we're hoping it continues into next week. The state tournament is going to be where this year?
It's in Olympia. I'm not exactly sure what the name of the place
So last year you were on the east side of the state, right?
Yeah.
So they're moving down to Olympia. We're hoping that both of them are going to be down there. So again, best of luck to both of you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
I wonder how many sets of siblings we've had on this show.
Whew, we've got to be getting up around double digits at this point. It's been a few.
There's been a
Not as many
few.
this year, I don't think, as last year,
Yeah.
but we've certainly had our share.
Yeah, and they've all had different kinds of personalities, and some of them seem to be closer than others, and it's just fascinating to me to hear the tales of the siblings.
And as somebody like myself who had a sibling close to me in high school, age-wise, it's always kind of fun to get them in together, and no doubt something that they'll be able to share with each other as they go through life. So
Yes,
always a good
indeed.
time.
Yeah, that was great. So, okay, let's talk tennis.
Tennis, the district championships, or I guess it was sub-district championships taking place this week. Again, like some of the other sports, you have to go through one stage to get to another to ultimately get to state. And 5 of our girls tennis players in the Edmonds School District qualified for the District 1 3A girls tournament coming up this week. 2 different doubles teams, one from Edmonds-Woodway and one from Meadowdale, punching their ticket into the district. From Edmonds-Woodway, we had Alexi Huffman and Cristobal Jameson, so congratulations to them. For Meadowdale, Isabel Renal and Kelsey Cummings, so another congratulations goes out to them. And then our only singles player, and this is a name who I've come close a couple of different times to giving an award to throughout the year, so we're going to make sure we take care of her now because she deserved it. Natalie Paulson, number 1 singles player over at Edmonds-Woodway. She advances into the next round. She had to defeat Sydney right over at Meadowdale for this honor. So congratulations to Natalie and to Sydney too, for that matter, for a great year. And I think she's only a freshman, so have no doubt we'll be talking about her into the future. But Natalie, you are the Action Jackson Plumbing Athlete of the Week. So Natalie, along with the other 4 girls that we just mentioned, will be heading over to Arlington High School on Tuesday and Wednesday, weather permitting, there's that phrase we hate to use, for the girls tennis tournament, with a number of girls from that tournament moving on to state, depending on how they end up finishing at that tournament.
All right. Well, good luck to all of them, and that'll be. I've spent more than my share of time at Arlington High School watching tennis.
I'm sure you have. Yeah, it seems to be a popular spot for this
Yeah, it
district.
is actually a good location for high school tennis viewing. It's if you care to go out and watch some good tennis. Okay, so track and field.
Track and field, we're going to leave out the individual results here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those to find on myedmondsnews.com, Linwood Today, MLT News. But we did have the league championships, or the division championships, I should say, over the past week. Edmonds-Woodway boys and girls both winning their team championships, so congratulations to them. That was for the 3A. For 2A, Mountlake Terrace participated in one in which they took second place for the boys and third place for the girls. And now all four of the schools moving on to the districts this coming week, and this is for the right to qualify for their state championships the following week. So we've got Mountlake Terrace. They're going to be at Lakewood High School up in Arlington on Wednesday and Friday with their athletes trying to qualify. And then our other three schools, Linwood, Meadowdale, and Edmonds-Woodway, they're going to be over at Shoreline Stadium on Wednesday and Friday of this week trying to do the same. So best of luck to all of those athletes, and I'm sure that we'll have more than a handful of athletes moving on to the state championships the following week.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We always do.
We do indeed, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and now we have a special honor to talk about.
Yeah, I was excited. This kind of made my evening when I saw this the other day. I'm very fond of this person. We've enjoyed working with her, and she's very deserving of this award.
Yeah.
Julie Stronzik, the athletic director for the Edmonds School District, was named the Washington State Athletic Director of the Year by the Washington Secondary School Athletic Administrators Association. There's a mouthful right there. But Julie, best athletic director in the state of Washington. I think she should win the award pretty much every year. But then again, there are some fantastic athletic directors out there. So Julie, congratulations to you, and we certainly appreciate everything you do around here for all of us, not only in the media, but also the coaches and players and parents and faculty members at your schools and everything else. She's just been a joy to work with, and could not be happier for her.
Yeah, she really is amazing. And Julie, you just do such a great job, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. So I guess that's it for us this week.
We're done for this week,
All
but we
right.
will have plenty to talk about next week.
Yes, we will. So we will see you then, and have a great week.